Star Wars 7x7 episode 2031. Today, Ewan McGregor responds to the rumors about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that broke all over the news on Thursday. Here we go. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. So yeah, if you caught yesterday's episode or last week's episode, or if you've been near a computer over the last week or so, then you've probably heard the news that not everything is going perfectly with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And I will tell you that since the news broke on the venerable entertainment reporting channels on Thursday, there haven't been any new updates to the story per se. No additional sources coming out, no official comment from Disney or Lucasfilm, but as we've talked about many times on the show over the years, if an actor who is in Star Wars is doing some sort of press junket for another movie, another TV show, another something, they're going to be asked about Star Wars. And wouldn't you know it, the Birds of Prey movie release premiere was just the other night, and Ewan McGregor is in Birds of Prey. So you can imagine how many times he must have been asked about Kenobi. Well, I can tell you at least 3. And here is what he said to Entertainment Tonight when they asked him about it.
Just real quick, Ewan, what's going on with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Because there's so many reports out there. Is it happening?
I'm going to play it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
you got
I
it
had
first
creative
on ET.
differences, and I said to my friend Chris, said, you do it. I'm out.
Nobody will notice the difference.
No, with a cloak on and a beard, no one will know.
And that's Chris Messina, who is with him, who Ewan McGregor says would do just fine as Obi-Wan Kenobi, just with the cloak and the beard. And the actual answer comes from his interview with the Associated Press, and this is what he had to say to them.
It's not been put on hold, it's just been pushed back a little bit, just for scripts, and the scripts are excellent, and they just want them to be better. And so we just pushed it back, but it's very dramatic, it would seem online, there's all kinds of online about it, but it's only just slid back a bit. But we're still shooting it. I still think it'll still be aired when it was meant to be, and I'm really excited about it. It'll be fun to play again.
All right, so that's 2. And then IGN, I didn't find a video version of this, but they printed his full response in text on their website. It says, "It's just slid into next year, that's all. The scripts were really good. I think now that episode 9 came out and everyone at Lucasfilm's got more time to spend on the writing, they felt like they wanted more time to spend on the writing. I've read about 80-90% of what they've written so far, and it's really, really good. Instead of shooting this August, they just want to start shooting in January, that's all. Nothing more dramatic than that. It often happens in projects. They just wanted to push it to next year. It will have the same release date. I don't think it will affect the release date. They're still shooting toward having the film show a release when it was going to be originally. But that release date hasn't actually been announced anywhere, so of course that spawns its own bit of speculation. And it's not like I don't believe Ewan McGregor in what he's saying, but a 5-month slide from August to January, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, that's right. So, depending on whether shooting was supposed to start in late August and it's going to start in early January, it could be maybe only a 4 months and change slide. But yeah, that's a pretty big slide for them to still be able to keep whatever anticipated release date they were aiming for. So, I suppose it's certainly possible. I don't want to put it past them, but yeah, it makes me feel that sort of uncomfortable little flutter, like, oh man, you're compressing the time frame by 4 to 5 months. Yeah, that creates its own little bit of nervous making for me, at least. But either way, whether it's going to be on time or early or late or whatever it is, this is a developing story, and I will be keeping track of it for you as the days and weeks go on. But that's going to do it for the Obi-Wan Kenobi update. There's one thing from the Clone Wars trailer from the other day that I wanted to flag for you, a surprise cameo of sorts, and I'll mention that after the break. Stay tuned. Hey Rebel Rouser, I've made some changes to the asteroid belt level at patreon.com/SW7X7, and they are all with sponsors in mind. So if you want to get the word out about your business, your product, your service to a dedicated Star Wars audience, then please check out patreon.com/SW7X7 and look for the asteroid belt level for details. Again, that's patreon.com/SW7X7. Welcome back. So, in the Clone Wars trailer, about 20 or so seconds in, there's a scene where a number of Jedi are assembled around a holographic projector, and some of those Jedi are actually there as holographic projections themselves. Well, if you think of this circular holographic projector display thing as a clock, then right around the 2 o'clock area or so, there is a Jedi and a youngling slash Padawan, a little hard to tell in the brief snippet that we get, but the Jedi is Depa Billaba, and the youngling Padawan, well, it's hard to necessarily say for certain, but based on the time that this takes place, it's very likely that this child is Caleb Doom, who you might know better as Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels. Now, it remains to be seen whether Depa and Caleb will be more involved in the events of these final 12 episodes of the Clone Wars, but the fact that they are making an effort to tie the Clone Wars with Star Wars Rebels is really intriguing, and I think that's going to be something for us to keep a watch out for, to see if there are other connections to other Star Wars media. And in particular, I think we also need to be aware of mentions, if it happens, of the High Republic. And we're going to talk about the High Republic soon, because there's a lot of stuff bubbling up about this, and maybe, well, we'll get to it, but not today. Hang in there. We'll talk about this High Republic business very soon. But for now, we're going to stop here and call it an episode. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.